So it's one, and it's just straight down here too. You can see this one. This round piece right here. That's the first one. That's your first bolt holding it. The second bolt is just down there. And your third bolt is just on this side. So that's 3. Once you get that out, you can pull out the O-ring and fix your leaks. So the reason why, or how I diagnosed it was the Vtec valve, is because there was oil leaking out of here. You can see it's under pressure. You can see all this gunk is spraying out on my motor, and you can kind of identify that this is this ground zero, or where all the oil is coming out of. Basically, it can all trace back to the center. This is the center point. You can see oil is going this way, oil is going that way, oil is going that way, and some oil is there. You can see oil here. And these basically themselves, this is a coolant line, so there shouldn't even be oil spilling out of here. So you can trace it back to your Vtec valve with this baby right here. If it was a distributor, you would see more on this side. This side of my engine, there's no oil at all. So just leads me to the poor gasket in there. It's never been changed before. It's about 20 years old, 23 years old. It's a 94 Honda. It's a $10 part. I went to the local auto parts store. They didn't have the part in stock. So you'll have to buy it online or buy through Honda itself or parts. Online is $10, as I said, but you're paying $11 in shipping. I've yet to get a pricing from my local Honda dealer, so I'm just waiting on that. But in the meantime, you can clean it all up first, and just make sure that it is leaking out of there. That's what I did earlier. Use brake cleaning fluid or brake part cleaners, brake part cleaning aerosol to clean it. The reason why you don't want to use engine cleaner or degreaser is because it's not as volatile. By that I mean it doesn't evaporate as readily. You have to wash it down or wipe it dry, but brake cleaner leaves no residue. So leaves no residue, that's what you want. So I generally like to spray it on a cloth, paper towel, then wipe it. Okay, I just finished cleaning up the engine compartment where I found the oil leak. As suspected, with all the damage pattern, the spill pattern, I was able to isolate it to this Vtec valve. That is easily accessible if you have the correct tools. If not, you'll have to remove, I guess you're going to remove this anyways. It's easier to remove the airflow into the throttle body. You'll probably have to remove the valve here for your coolant line that goes into the engine. But if not, you can probably access all 3 of them. 2 of the bolts, as I showed you, on the top, and then one just below this one in line is the 3rd one at the bottom is the difficult one to access, but the up 2 is easily accessible. So after I cleaned it up, I want to make sure that the area that I am going to replace, the gasket in here, is the part that I need to remove. So I'm going to go ahead and grab fresh paper towels, line it around where I suspect the leak, line it on somewhere over here too, even though I did not have any leaks or any oil spill or any cleaning to do here. Majority of it was isolated here. That's why I am 90% sure that it is this gasket. But again, it's no harm making sure, you know, it's always measure twice, cut once. So like that. Next, I'm going to put some sheets underneath here in this electrical cable tray, just to make sure it's not my distributor here. So again, paper towel, just line it underneath. So I've basically covered the area that I found the oil in, and then I'm just gonna let all of this brake cleaner fluid, well, dry up or evaporate. Now I'll test it all out, run the engine for maybe 5 minutes or so, just enough that it warms up, just for it to build pressure, let the Vtec activate, rev it up a little bit, and then we'll see where it leaks again, just to confirm. So I placed some paper towel here around the V-Tec control valve right here, this valve, the gasket. I am thinking that it's leaking. Since majority of the oil leak pattern was over here on this side and above, right by the engine here. Nothing above the gasket, the valve cover gasket. There's nothing there. Underneath, I checked the oil filter for being any leaks around there, and if it was tight. I also checked the oil pan gasket. That was tight, no leaks there. Where the leaks were coming from was somewhere right here, either from the distributor or distributor here, or the valve, or it could also be not the valve gasket itself, but it could be. I'll show you. This pressure switch right here, where this plugs into, that could also be where the leak is. But I'm not certain whether it's that or the valve itself, the gasket mounted to the engine. But I'm leaning more towards the gasket itself, because oil is well, before I cleaned it up, there was some above it and some to the side over here, so that kind of points to anywhere the leak is leaking down, because it's not squirting out, nothing's squirting out, so there's not much pressure behind it. It's a small minor leak, so if anything it's just dripping, and well, gravity only goes down, so it would be you would only find oil anywhere from here and lower, which is not the case. I found it from anywhere the gasket was and lower, which is everything here, all the electrical, the heater hoses down there, and as I showed you earlier, the cable tray. So let's get to it. It's nice and hot. So I already removed my little paper towel that was wrapped around the Vtec valve. You can see oil. So this confirms, confirms the gasket is leaking. So, well, stay tuned for a video on repairing that.